Every time you hear about Bitcoin, people mention transactions. But what actually happens when you send Bitcoin to someone? Does it move like cash, or is it just numbers changing on a screen? Today, I'll break it down in the simplest way possible. In our first videos, we explained what Bitcoin is, how it works, and why it has value. Now, let's take a closer look at the journey of a Bitcoin transaction. Imagine Alice wants to send Bitcoin to Bob. What really happens from the moment she hits send to the moment Bob sees it in his wallet? Let's go step by step. Alice opens her Bitcoin wallet app. She types in Bob's Bitcoin address, which is like his digital bank account number, chooses how much Bitcoin to send, and clicks the send button. That simple action starts a complex but fascinating process. Comment below if this makes sense so far. Let's pause here for a second. What is a Bitcoin address? It's a long string of letters and numbers, kind of like an email address, but for money. Luckily, you don't need to type it all out. Most wallets use QR codes to make it incredibly easy. So instead of her having to say, send to 1BVBMSE West, she can just scan a code from Bob's phone. Think of it like scanning a contactless card to pay for your coffee. It's just that simple. When Alice clicks send, her wallet doesn't literally move a coin. Instead, it creates a digital message. This message says, Alice is sending this amount of Bitcoin to Bob. To prove it's really her, the wallet uses something called a private key, a secret password that only Alice has. Imagine sealing a letter with a unique wax stamp that only you own. That stamp proves the message is genuine and hasn't been tampered with. Feel free to pause and rewatch if this feels a bit confusing. This is one of the trickiest parts to grasp. Once that message is created, Alice's wallet broadcasts it to the Bitcoin network. That means thousands of computers all around the world, we call them nodes, hear about the transaction. Picture Alice stepping into a giant digital town square and shouting, "Hey everyone, I'm sending Bitcoin to Bob!" Instantly, thousands of listeners record what she just announced. But just shouting it out isn't enough. The network has to check a couple of things. Does Alice really have the Bitcoin she's trying to send? And is she not trying to spend the same Bitcoin twice? This is where miners come in. Miners are powerful computers that compete to verify transactions. It's a bit like a cashier checking if your bill is real before accepting it. Once miners confirm the transaction is valid, it's ready to be added to the official record. Let me know in the comments if this is making sense. Now, the valid transactions get bundled together into what's called a block. Think of a block like a page in a giant shared notebook. Once a page is filled, it's added permanently to the blockchain, the master record of all Bitcoin transactions. Each block is cryptographically linked to the one before it, creating a chain that cannot be broken or erased. This whole process takes about 10 minutes for the first confirmation. So, if you're ever wondering why Bitcoin isn't instant, that's why. It's waiting for that block to be added to the chain. Go ahead and pause and rewatch if you want this part to really sink in. It's super important. Now Bob checks his wallet. After the block is added and confirmed by the network, Bob sees the Bitcoin appear in his balance. It's a bit like depositing a check. Your bank account might show the money, but the bank needs to verify it before it actually clears. The difference with Bitcoin is that the network itself, not a bank, does all the verifying. And once it's confirmed, it is final. No one can reverse it. Let's clear up a few common misconceptions. Many beginners think that Bitcoin means actual digital coins are moving across the internet. That's not quite true. What really happens is that the blockchain, that giant digital notebook, simply updates its ownership records. Another common myth is that transactions can be reversed. They can't. Once they're confirmed, they're permanent. This is both the strength and a big responsibility of using Bitcoin, so let's quickly recap the journey of Alice's Bitcoin. She clicks send. Her wallet creates a signed transaction message. It's broadcast to the entire network. Miners verify it. It gets written into the blockchain. And finally, Bob receives it. That's the life of a Bitcoin transaction in 6 simple steps. And that's how Bitcoin transactions actually work. from Alice to Bob, secured by thousands of computers and written into the blockchain forever. If this explanation made sense, please comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and answer any questions. And don't forget to subscribe for more Bitcoin basics. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.